Come with us for our first full day in Florida, where we started our day bright and early at Magic Kingdom. If you're a Disney Resort guest, you do get 30 minutes early entry to certain rides and lands at all 4 parks every morning, and especially on your first morning, this is well worth making use of. While everyone else was rushing to get in line for Tron or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, we headed to Storybook Circus to begin with the smaller rides. We started with Barnstormer, which we did twice as there was no queue. This is a great starter coaster for younger ones, but it does shake you around quite a bit. We then went on to Dumbo for those gorgeous views over Magic Kingdom before grabbing some food at the Friar's Nook. Yes, we did have a hot dog and tater tots for breakfast. Next up was Journey of the Little Mermaid, where unfortunately Ariel didn't feel like swimming that morning, but it was still a fun ride. Most people don't bother to do the smaller rides during early entry, but especially if, like us, you've got lightning lanes booked for the bigger rides, it can be worth doing these as they can get a surprisingly long queue later in the day. The park was now open to all guests, so to avoid the oncoming crowds, we jumped onto the People Mover for a spin around Tomorrowland. This is one of those rides that is so simple, but such a classic attraction and one that we do multiple times on every trip. It's especially good later in the day when you need to rest your feet or just need a break from the crowds. It was now time for our first lightning lane for Tron, which we were very excited for. This is such an interesting concept for a ride with a fun, unique ride vehicle. We just wish the ride was a little bit longer as it is over in no time. We then flew through some more lightning lanes for Space Mountain, which was brilliant as always, an absolute classic, and then onto Tomorrowland Speedway. Spoiler alert, you will never see me driving on this attraction. I might have a driver's license in real life, but I do not trust myself in one of these cars. I very much enjoy being a passenger. So far, all of our attractions had been a 5-minute wait, and we had got so much done. But the sun was really starting to do its job now, and the temp was well into the 30s already. So it was time for another lightning lane to pay a visit to the happy haunts of the Haunted Mansion and cool down a bit. Haunted Mansion is one of my favourite attractions, which is crazy for someone who wouldn't even go on a ghost train when I was a child. We also finally got to see the infamous Hatbox Ghost in action. He was very creepy, but he's a very impressive figure. Our next lightning lane was for Small World. This is a good attraction to give you an idea of how busy the park is. If Small World is longer than 30 minutes, you know that it's a busy day. At this point, the wait was about 40 minutes and it was only lunchtime. But we only waited 5 minutes with Lightning Lane and we were very happy to skip that queue. Oh, and don't forget to wave at the ride controller as your boat sets off. Small World does get some grief for being cheesy and corny, and the song will be stuck in your head all day, but it's a classic attraction and it has to be done on every trip. We were planning to stay in the park a little bit longer and we did have another Lightning Lane booked, but the heat was a lot by now and the park was only getting busier. So we swapped the Lightning Lane to our next park and decided to head back to the hotel for a break. We'd done 9 attractions and had a brilliant first morning.